got one question for you. Are you ready?
And we are live. What is going on, everybody? It is so good to be back.
What's
and
up?
Yes, we got James and we got Harry Muffs Disco in the house.
It's legal, guys. That's the legal name. I changed
Harry
it
Muffs
on
Disco.
the birth certificate even.
We got Harry. We got Harry in the house.
Harry Offspring, a.k.a. Harry Muffs Disco. Sorry, I didn't even let you know my name, man, did it?
It's all good. So how are you doing, Harry? It's been awesome getting to know you over the last week, and it's been really fun. What a great dude. And then additionally, he is so tech savvy and helpful. I've actually really been helped out, actually. Learned quite a bit of stuff this last week about video editing. And I mean, you have some amazing videos. So very cool.
I think if my music producer heard you call me tech savvy, he's laughing. If Tom's watching right now, he's laughing. But I've grown into some things. It's been a long, arduous journey. I suppose you guys can relate, right? Like the tech stuff, the learning curve is always pretty intense.
I agree. And the video editing, so we'll talk a little bit about this, but we have some cool videos to be able to show everybody and hang out. And I'm telling you, this will be one of those This will be one of those sessions that you will not want to ever forget because he is so funny. I mean, absolutely a riot. And I think that's what really drew me to just watching your videos over and over again this week.
So Andy, I wasn't going to say anything, but we're actually going to do something different. I'm just going to do like 30 minutes of really terrible stand-up right now. I thought that would be better than me playing. I don't know. Are you guys down to just go on this sojourn?
We're down for whatever, We switched it all up on you last minute. We were doing this video back and forth, and you were going to be the video DJ. You were going to what did they call those? They were video DJs. A VJ. You were going to do that, Andy, but instead we're going to do some dad jokes for the next half hour. So, of course, this is the time where we talk about the food. Harry, did you bring some dessert for us today?
I just have some, in terms of isn't music the real food?
Music is
that's terrible.
Food. We will go with that. We can say that Harry brought music, and music is the real food. I get it.
Now, is this something that I can prepare? Like if we were to actually get together in a non-COVID moment?
Yeah. So what would you, if you had a dessert to choose from to meet with your friends, what would you choose as your dessert?
I think the debate, especially because we're in October, right? So do you go with pumpkin or do you go with apple pie? And I know those might not be as sexy or fun or as intense as there's a lot of exotic desserts, but I don't know. Like to me, I probably have to go with apple pie because when it's done great, you will remember that. Like, oh, last Thanksgiving, the apple pie. And pumpkin's a little bit more kind of it can be bad. It's a little more streamlined, but I love both. It's a battle that's been going on for years.
I agree. And actually, I think for me personally, apple pie wins. I can do like pumpkin at Thanksgiving, and then we still buy one at Costco at Christmas. But that's it. That's all I want, a pumpkin pie. Now, apple pie year round, I could do Dutch apple pie. I could do just so many options. Ice cream a la mode. Yes.
So does Costco
adding ice cream to it? You know what I'm saying? You don't really see ice cream with pumpkin pie, whipped cream.
You do not.
Yeah, you see like more apple pie.
But you know what I had from Andy's, which everybody knows that I talk about Andy's because Van is all about Andy's. They have a shake that has pumpkin pie in it, and it actually
my God.
was super good. So it's frozen custard, but it is still super good. I mean, it had like chunks of pumpkin pie in it, which I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh!
oh yeah.
This is a local delicacy here.
Yeah, it's called Andy's Frozen Custard. I think they have a few in the Valley, and they're kind of franchisee in the Southwest. I don't know if they're anywhere else, I think they're just a Phoenix thing.
Are they in eastern Montana, where I grew up?
That would be nice if they were.
See, that's the stand-up I was talking about.
Yes. Dun-dun-dun. We need that guy in the back. Have you ever seen that one guy who's just like he's playing a drum? Dun-dun-dun.
Or was that Max Weinberg?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great drummer.
I was thinking that Saturday Night Live guy that just is like he's the drum guy who just sits in the back and he just dun-dun-dun. And you're like, oh.
What a great gig. I want to be in that band. I mean, everybody who's ever played has always been like, God, how do you get on the SNL band? Or how are you David Letterman's,
I wonder about that because that is, I mean, they're good session guitarists, I'm sure. I guess but at some point, my assumption is that they knew the head orchestra guy, whoever, what was it, Paul Schaefer?
Paul, yeah. Well, it's funny. I have to say this. My buddy Kevin Kapler, who's friends with a bunch of people that you interviewed, his dad played on Letterman. He was Letterman's saxophone player for, I might botch this up, but well over 20 years, and was there through the whole, I think when he was on NBC, if I'm not mistaken, before the CBS move, or maybe it was vice versa. But yeah, so I've got to hang out with him a couple times with Bruce, and best stories ever, right? Because he played with everybody. So
no doubt, that is really cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
So me and James here are maybe we get starstruck, but I'll be honest with you, it is so amazing that people like that. It's like talking to my sister. Oh yeah. Like to them, it's every day. To you guys, it's every day. Oh yeah. So and so knows so and so. Saul, Saul is Slash, but she knows, she knows Saul's dad. Talk to him. Yeah, he's a really cool cat. And blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I'm IT. I'm an IT engineer. I'm an IT engineer. I don't know anybody famous. I'm a nerd. I sit in my room and write code.
You're not, dude. You just laid out the blueprint of success for the last 20 years.
That's right. Nerds really serious.
I'm impressed by what you do.
It is.
My wife would love it if I was bringing in the money.
I am doing okay these days. I have to say, I am doing okay these days, and all of it goes into guitars.
It's well spent.
Well spent. Hey, you don't need that guitar. Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yes,
that Taylor the other day I went into Guitar Center and I was like, yes, I need that Taylor. And I was like, hey, I found my next guitar. How are you going to do that one? Didn't you just get one? I'm like, you never have enough. They all sound different.
I actually sold Guitar Center a bad amp. And I did that because there's been so many times where I had issues with Guitar Center and I was redoing my rig and I was like, well, the cabinet looks like crap, but it works. And the amp looks great, but sometimes it like farts out. And my buddy was kind of my gear guy. He was like, dude, he's like, they've been in debt for years. He's like, those guys don't know. He's like, just go in, they'll buy it. And that's, I'm a pretty good person. I don't do much that goes against the law, but I did. They didn't test it though. It's kind of their own bad. So they took the SVT, what was it? SVT4 Pro. It wasn't very pro. I sold it back to that.
See, that's...
Is this going to go out to the authorities? I just don't know what I should talk about, guys, and what I should.
We do have all 5 people listening right now, so...
I make it spread, right, with their social networks.
One of them I heard might have been involved with... one of them actually used to... So this is a story. Nicole, who is our booker...
Yes.
Her husband used to work for Guitar Center, so we may have to watch what we say here. He may still have resources.
He's a professional. That's why he's moved on.
He has become a studio, and he's now doing studio setups and stuff. So yeah, very much cooler. But he still has a good discount. I hear. I haven't seen it yet.
Great. He's in the family.
Yeah, but I bought all this stuff, and usually I buy it through. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to do local. I'm trying to.
Andy, maybe you're keeping Guitar Center in business. I mean, they've been. Everybody's like, oh, they're going bankrupt. I've been hearing that for like 15 years. It's kind of like Amtrak. Just keeps like more wrecks and more. You know, they're going out of business, but it's always there. It's always there.
Always there. And this is the interesting thing. I went to Guitar Center. It was packed. Like everybody
like it just opened.
was there.
Like it's 1990.
And then the worst thing about it is there was like 3 people there. So I was just like, I'm waiting in a line to get. I'm just buying some scale books because I'm like trying to just place some new scales, trying to link some new scales together. And so I was like, oh, I found these cool books. You know, I'd like to learn a little bit more about this. So I'm there and I'm just waiting to check out because I was, you know, I didn't buy the guitar. I had to, I'll just buy a book. I'll just buy a book. That's what I'm going to do. So, but I still waited like 20 minutes to get out the door because I'm like, okay, there's somebody buying equipment. And then there's the other people that, somebody's trying to
They don't have
something.
the express lane at Guitar Center. They should.
No, there should be the, hey, you just check this out. Ding, ding, out. You got the book. Thank you.
Like a CBS automatic checking.
Right. So we had apple pie, pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm.
I am on a diet, folks. I know that might be something that is after hearing about all the food I like to eat. So today I brought popcorn.
Oh,
it is
responsible,
dietary.
Andy.
I bought popcorn.
What brand? Is it Boy Scout or Orville?
It is Act 2 microwavable popcorn.
Oh,
it tastes like microwave popcorn.
Is it pre-buttered, Andy? Is it pre-buttered?
It is the extra butter, but however, I don't think you can make this stuff taste really that good. I tried. I usually put tahini in it or something, and it just is a no-go. It's just, yeah. So popcorn. I am on a diet. I've lost 15 pounds.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
I can fit in. Here's what happened. Just a little quick. I couldn't get into my pants anymore.
So this is like, should I be on a diet? No, like, okay, this is.
I can't even fit in my pants anymore. I was like sitting, like I could do the whole rock star thing where I was like, if I stand up and I play guitar, I can fit into these jeans. As soon as I went to go sit down, I could no longer fit into those pants, and I was doing the unbuckling dad thing.
Dude, I do that, man. When I'm stuck in traffic and I gotta pee.
Yeah.
I'm unbuckling things. I'm putting on AC in the winter.
That's right. So, and so we know. This is the time that everybody knows.
The bad devil stuff over here.
That's what we know. We know what's happened. We know that
streets over here. The non-diet food over here.
I'm eating this crappy popcorn, and you know that the man has brought something good. So what do you got, buddy?
Speaking of pumpkin pie, I made a pumpkin pie cheesecake last week.
So that was man.
Good. Yeah, that was really awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's
with whipped cream. Yeah, homemade whipped cream.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So I kind of went simple. I went with just brownies.
Hey!
Oh, dude,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, homemade brownies are really good.
But so here's the problem, though, is that my brownies, I would have made brownies or something, but they are not homemade. They would have been like Duncan Hines or something, you know. But
yeah, I found a recipe.
I might have beat you. What did you? So tell us a little bit about this real quick. So what did you? So you went with? Is it like natural chocolate, or what are you doing with this?
No, I use regular chocolate chips. But the mix of cocoa. I add cocoa powder to it. Melted butter. I usually do the melted butter thing, and then let it sit for a minute, and then add all the ingredients pretty much. And yeah, it just I found this recipe. Kind of just stuck to it.
Yeah,
and it hasn't let me down.
Do you guys bake often? I mean, this is part of the show, part of your love of cooking.
Chef is he is the bearded metal chef because he is a professional chef.
God, I didn't do my homework.
And he works at a country club. And then I am a hospitality major. So I have a degree that I never use in hotel restaurant management. And I ran a few restaurants here and there throughout my very early careers before I decided that is crap. And it's not just, and James can say it's a great job. I love the job, but it was the hours that killed me. It was the hours that killed me. I had a newborn and just the hours killed me. I was gone until 9 o'clock at night.
It's not even just baking. I kind of dabble in the baking thing and kind of just like for fun. I'm more just cooking regular food and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He's superior.
Wish we could do this in person now. Not that I didn't want to do it before.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is now we're going to start flying guests out so that we can at least. You know what my sister said? I believe
I got the last one of these. Actually, Harry, next week we're flying people out. They're going to put you up in a resort. James will be cooking for you for a week.
There you go.
Yeah. Too bad, Harry. Sorry.
That's cool, guys. That's cool.
You came on the uncool times.
And Chris made the comment that this is our fourth guest. Your 15 pounds that you lost.
Yes. Yeah, you're right because I haven't moved. I noticed this. Yes. All I'm going to say is here's what happened. So I lost 15 pounds and then some person probably in this room right now put the laundry basket on the on the electric scale and burned out the battery to the scale.
Wow.
We were weighing laundry for about a week and it was heavy and
no one touched that laundry for a week.
That's correct.
Like, we can't take it anymore. We're going to die.
That's right. So now nobody has a scale. So we can always say 15, 20 pounds. And then we can say, we think it's 15, 20 pounds. I feel 15, 20 pounds lighter. I can fit it in my pants. That's a big thing right there. I just fit it in my pants.
That's the sign right there. If you can fit in your pants, that's fine.
That is half the battle, folks. Fitting into your pants.
Very true.
So Harry, I am going to say that we had a great little session on Tuesday, just kind of going over how we could set up the show. And I had a great time. I learned quite a little bit about you there, but we want to dive a little bit deeper into some of your musical background and what it kind of got you here. The big thing about Harry that kind of, as you can well tell, Harry Muffs Disco, I think that there's some double meanings in there. What?
I just like earmuffs that are fur.
I will make the comment though. Let's dive into the muff.
Let's dive. Well, I will say this.
You left that open, sir.
So you guys will laugh. So when I tried to kind of revamp myself musically a little bit and kind of go from a band guy, and if you guys do want to talk about any of that, let me know. If not, completely get it. And then into more like a solo project, I was arrogant enough to think that, I could be called Harry. And then my album will be Muffs, right? But there's Harry Belafonte, there's Harry Styles. I'm pretty low on the trajectory there. So a couple years ago, I revamped it to Harry Muffs Disco. There's no other Harry Muffs Disco. I'm the only one. So if you type Harry Harry Muffs, which as you can see on your screen.
As you can see, floating across the screen is his website. Go check it out.
This
is
nice,
the cool thing about technology is we have it streaming while we're talking.
Isn't this also going? Oh man, I thought we were going to talk about Gianna.
You know what happens? You know what happened is I bought these stupid putty things and it doesn't stick to fabric. It sticks to paper. Doesn't stick to fabric.
Dude, that's hilarious. I hung a bunch of stuff up on my wall for this. It could easily fall down during this movie. So if there could be, I got Warren Zevon, Rolling Stone up here. I've got there's a Heart advertisement from 1977, and I got the Bee Gees and Led Zeppelin up there. So, and Mick Jagger painting.
There you go.
It could all come crashing down.
It could all come. Well, now I just have a red light that. Now everybody knows that there was a red light there shining onto my Guns N' Roses flag.
That was cool. I thought it was blood. It's intense.
Well, you know what the cool thing is that I got that from the newest Guns N' Roses tour, which was, if anybody has an opportunity to go see them, it was actually really good for somebody that you'd be like, I didn't want to see that. Some people wanted to see them 20 years, 30 years ago. And I saw them and they played a solid 3 hours. And I would say that Axl Rose's voice was actually really, really good until the very last song where it cracked.
And they're heavily touring, so that's probably a little
to
bit
be expected. To be expected.
Now, yeah. Andy, it's funny you bring up the GNR thing. I never know what I should say when these interviews, they don't happen every day. They happen sometimes, but rare. No, I've actually toured with the keyboard player, Dizzy at Guns N' Roses. I've done some solo stuff. That's like kind of the thing that I lead with when people are like, so who have you played with? So have you played with
Guns? So you played with the keyboardist, which I didn't even know they had a keyboardist.
Yeah, but he joined in '90. Yeah, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. He's on those records.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, those are actually my favorite. Those are my two of my favorite from that. From Guns N' Roses. Appetite is always the best one because I remember sitting my freshman year, and this is
changed the landscape.
It changed the landscape of rock because that's when everything started becoming like this. It was not glam rock anymore. Now it was this really, Guns N' Roses / kind of those bad boys rock. I enjoyed it. Kind
of hearkening back almost to early Aerosmith. I mean, obviously sounds different, but there's some of that Stones early Aerosmith thing going on with the punk rock influence. And then kind of that bridge into grunge too. I think it's just, they shook it up, man. They shook up the hair metal. And then I got into an argument one time. I was in a commercial and the makeup lady and I got into not an argument. It was like a heated discussion about whether or not Guns N' Roses is a hair metal band. And I was like, yes, early photos, they had their hair poofed out. And I'm like, they're not a hair metal band. There's too much punk. There's too much of that classic rock sound and the punk sound for me to go that they're, to me that differentiates them a little bit. That's just my opinion.
I think you're right. And I do think that that's one of the things that was the cue to grunge rock. It was like one of the key links to grunge rock, which kind of changed the landscape again, which is, there was so many steps to grunge rock. If you really take a look at grunge rock, there was bands before, Nirvana actually hit. So there was a lot of precursors. And I think Guns N' Roses was like the first where like, we're tired of the Poisons and the Europes and the Bon Jovis right now.
We're never tired of Europe. I mean, I think we all can attest to that.
We all want to have the final countdown.
Over and over and over. So it's never final.
Yes, it's never the final countdown. It's always the second. But wait a second, we got to play it every. Remember, I don't know what age you are here, but there was a time
69,
where
I look really good though.
Yeah, there was a time where that final countdown song, and it must have been like 10 years after the fact that it had played. It was in every single sporting thing that they possibly could come up with. It was like, okay, I think either the copyright had finally dropped off, so now they're going to use it massively, or somebody got the copyright to it. And
it's funny, you can't even think of the verse. If you really can just hear the like that's all you like. At least with "Don't Stop Believing," you can think of all the parts of the song. You're like, okay, the whole song is catchy and good, but like Final Countdown, how does the verse go?
Right.
He starts wooing. That's the first song. Woo.
He woos the women.
He's
and the men. All of us.
He's wooing. Yeah. So that brings me to some music. Where did you play the bass, obviously. What kind of got you down into this? Like, hey, I want to do this for a living. What made you passionate enough to make this happen for you?
I was in Spokane, Washington. So I went to school Gonzaga 98 to 2002. And I don't know, it's weird. Like I was a history major, which pretty much means, hey, we're going to be unemployed for the rest of our lives. No, so I loved the humanities and all that stuff, and I was doing some social work, and I was in a cover band at the time, and we just gigged. Like we played 3-4 shows a week for about a year, and it was just gigging 4 hours all the time, 3 to 4 times a week. So I just kind of developed my chops, and I was also doing jazz combo in college, and I'd always played. I've been playing since 91, 92, and always playing, but I never really took it seriously. And I've always, when I said I was late when I joined earlier on, I've always been late to everything. So my decision to pursue music happened later than it probably happens for a lot of 19-year-olds that are like, we're going to be in a band. I wasn't even trying to write my own music until probably like 22, 23, when that cover band kind of became an original band. But my friend was a screenwriter, and she's like, I'm moving to LA, and I needed a change. And so I moved down, and it's just a wild journey. You know, it's all the things that you want to happen don't, and a ton of really cool shit that you could never predict does happen. And being a new dad and being 41, I've done I've had to really assess what is success for me and what are my goals. And that's a continuous thing in LA. Every couple of years, I'm like, okay, what am I doing? What am I trying to go for? And the dreams kind of shift with different goals. But it's so funny. It's like you wish you knew then what you know now. But I think that's a part of growing too. Like there's just so much I can do now with music production, video production, that I was just literally a bass player who sang background vocals in rock bands. That was my thing. Now I make most of my artistic money from acting and, not playing the bass. But I want those worlds to help each other more. And I got a new agent right now, and I'm auditioning every week for major TV shows. So I think if that kind of gets a little bit more traction on that end, that'll also help draw some attention to the hard work that goes into these music videos that not enough people see. But that's everybody, right? That's not just me. That's most musicians.
I think with your videos too, you can actually use and still utilize your acting skills instead of like just playing music. You can still make like funny little skit videos that are really funny. If anybody in here like watches this, definitely check it out, and they're really, really good. But I figure it's definitely a good way to keep honing your skills of acting skills.
Oh, thanks, James. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really wanted Harry Muffs Disco to kind of become a platform for sketches and for music and music videos. And it's gotten jokier as time's gone on. I think initially I wanted to be a little bit more serious of a project, because my old bands were so different, like progressive rock bands, like very serious and important bands. And I've kind of gone more, it's taken me a while to kind of figure out what I want this to be. I was actually developing a one-man show with projection that was kind of based loosely on me, but it's like this guy from the 70s that it's me, but I lose my mind and I think it is the 70s and I live in my parents' basement. And I was going to do that at the Fringe Festival in Hollywood, and then COVID hit. So that's something that I still haven't actually fully realized, that little project. But I got a couple other music videos in the works and 2 new singles that are unreleased that are, I think, my best work. So got a lot of fun stuff that I'm very focused on right now with music and the acting.
That's awesome.
Nice.
What acting gigs, if we were to say, hey, is there something like you were in a commercial, or was there something that we would know you as a professional actor? Yeah,
I mean, I've done about 20 some commercials. A lot of those were small bits like Conoco and Dollar Shave Club and a lot of really random stuff. But
Little Caesars, I think.
Like I got a new agent about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and that's just opened doors. Like I audition almost every week for them, and they got me the Little Caesars gig where I'm doing the cello saxophone. It's like, that was, everybody saw that. That's funny because I mean it's awesome, and I love doing that stuff. But like people out of the woodwork, oh Harry, I saw you on TV, and I'm like, yeah, I do music videos too. So that's funny, man. But no, I loved it. And it's funny. That was actually, I don't know if you guys saw that commercial. It actually kicked my ass because I had to I played saxophone in high school and junior high terribly, but so I knew how to hold the sax and kind of play. But I had to flip it around, move the mouthpiece, take out the antenna, and then say the lines. And when it's 90 degrees in a small little wooden 70s garage, and there's flies around your face, and there's 60 degrees, and I kept effing up, man. I don't know if I can swear. Can I swear? I don't know. I kept messing up, and all the weight, I couldn't do it with the neck strap on, so all the weight of the saxophone was on my thumb. So my thumb was just the whole thing, oh, hey mom, and then like, hey, Harry, let's try it in Spanish now. I'm like, oh, I'm ignorant. I don't know Spanish. So it was a tough shoot. It makes me appreciate a lot of those things where you're like, oh, anybody can do that. I'm like, yeah, probably, but it still doesn't mean it's not extremely challenging, especially when people are looking at you and like time is money on those shoots. There's like 60 people in the crew watching you mess up. And you're like, shit, I got to do this
especially when you think you do it right and then you're like, oh, do it again.
Yeah. And, yes, and a lot of times you don't know if the director's liking what they're seeing or not because everyone's personalities are different, you know. So, but no, that was awesome. I did KFC about a year before that, and yeah, this year's been interesting. I've had a ton of callbacks. I just haven't quite brought home the bacon. But now I've got my new and I got the theatrical agent, and he's awesome, and like it's just really opened up a whole new world. What We Do in the Shadows, I just did an audition for that. I don't think I got it, but it was so much fun, and I love that show. So like that's just really, really been fun for me.
I did also check out that you were actually a Mick Jagger impersonator.
Yeah, that was my first acting gig. That was way back now. My God, time goes. It was the Moves Like Jagger Maroon 5 thing, which so I just went in and it's funny, they put me in a dress and I was freeballing. And when I was doing my moves, and like most of Mick Jagger's were these really attractive female models, and there's like two other guys and me, and I'm up there doing my dances because we each did a round. And of course there's fans, right? Because it's this really cool old stage. And like I'm just the whole time I'm like, this could be it, man. Like the shrinkage could be shown too. Because I was nervous, I was sweaty. And I'm like, I'm trying to do my Mick Jagger, like I'm doing that, and the whole time I'm like, Adam Levine's gonna be like,
Then you have nightmares forever, and then it's over.
Dude, can I tell you an Adam Levine story? Because it's hilarious.
Let's hear this. Hear this.
All right, so Adam Levine, I'm putting the dress. This is all real. I maybe embellish a little bit, but not really. I'm putting the dress on. It's on, and they're checking me out. Wardrobe. And Adam Levine walks around the corner and he goes, "Whoa, you're like the guy that gets invited to the party, and when you show up, everyone's gone." And then he walked away. What does that mean, Adam? What does it mean? I know you have perfect rock hard abs. I know the women love you. But are you jealous of me? Why are you putting me down? It was like I was in junior high again. I'm like, I'm doing this for you.
You're like the man who... Oh, no way. Just because he could. Just because he could. That's what he did it for. Just because he could.
I will say that speaking of moves like Jagger, where I work at, Mick Jagger and his girlfriend actually live like 20 minutes away from where I work.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is this the one? Does he has a really young? I could be off on this because we actually saw my wife saw him in a park a couple years ago, close to where we lived, and he had like a really, really young. I think it was a young boy. So is this who he has that child with? Do you see a child? I
don't know. Apparently, I guess we didn't know he actually moved in yet. One of the bartenders was like, "Man, who's who's that old guy with like the young girl?" And like later on, they found out like, oh, Mick Jagger moved like not far away, and they're like, oh, yeah, that was Mick Jagger. I guess Mick Jagger actually came to the bar. Nobody knew. Yeah, nobody knew about it.
Yeah, it's so cool. Laura, a good friend of ours, she actually does prop design for like she did Sons of Anarchy and American Horror Story, and that's her world, but she's an artist as well. And this Mick Jagger, I don't know if you guys, it's so freaking cool. It's she's just letting us borrow it to put on the wall, but it's like $900, which I'm not going to buy right now.
Yes.
Nice.
That's cool. That is really cool. That is cool.
Awesome.
That's ultra cool, man. You know what? This is what's so cool is we're talking about, okay, I've never met hardly any stars. So Harry, that's awesome that, you've met Adam Levine, who all the girls
met
him. You've met him. You have met him, and yet you are, you're I think it's just in Hollywood everybody knows everybody.
There's always a couple steps removed, right? There's that. I think that's what is really, when I first moved to LA, I was in the pool of the first apartment. This is '05. And these two weird guys who I never talked to again, they were like, be careful, man. LA will pull you in, and before you know it, it's 20 years later. That's exactly how it is. Because like, there's no real seasons, and it's just, I don't know. It's interesting, but I think the big change for me came when I started focusing more on like, okay, what are the goals that I can control, and what can I work on, and what are things that I'm actually really passionate about? Because I think most people that move here, they want to be appreciated and validated for who they are. So there's a little bit of that ego involved, but then there's also the joy of just creating, right? And James, you know this. You guys, Andy, you know this from music and the work you do, and James from the cooking that you do. Like it's love, it's love that pours out. So that's been big for me, just focusing more on, what are the things I really want to get done. And like this music video, the garbage one, it almost didn't happen. We did the first day of shooting, it sucked. I did all the editing. We didn't get what we needed for various reasons, which I will not go into. And the second day of shooting, I went in and I was like, we have to get this, and this done within the next 8 hours, or I'm gonna scrap the shoot because I can't release something that I don't think is good. So. And I was like, why am I doing this? I literally was like, this is dumb. I shouldn't be doing this. That's my inner critic, right? And now I'm like, I love this thing, and it's gotten into 5 festivals, the first 5 I've heard back, and that's what's interesting, that inner negative voice that tells you you're too old, or why try, and like all the things, right? The negative self-talk that we probably all have experienced in our lives. And it's like, you gotta just put that aside and go, no, man, this is good. You had inspiration to do this, follow through, and see what happens, and enjoy what does happen.
And we are so thankful that honestly, I died laughing and I was trying to figure out all the skits and all the little, because you have so many nuances in your videos for funny. I mean, it just, every little bit's a little funny. And I'm like, that's from that movie. That's from that movie. Where's that from? And I'm sitting here trying to figure it out. I said, I know where that's from. I know I've seen this, but where's that from? But
Right.
everybody will see something new. I absolutely, that's what's great about your videos, is that there's a little bit of something new. I watched Pleasure Dome, and you have to watch it so many times to try to figure out what the heck just happened.
Yeah, I watched it a few times.
You're just like, was there a bear?
Dude, that's Dusty, by the way. That's Dusty.
Is that
Dusty's
Dusty?
the bear? Yes, and he's also Ronald Reagan, which is really funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Dusty's like the bear. Dusty. Now it's gonna be just Dusty the bear. Dusty the bear is giving massages, and then at the very end, he's trying to kill people. Great. What I love is that I don't have that kind of creativity. I love people who do. I absolutely love people who do, and I couldn't get enough of watching. I just kept watching it over and over again because I kept seeing new parts. It was like kind of watching a movie that you've seen 10,000 times and then spotting, like, I didn't remember that part being in there.
What I wanted to do, there's a whole record there that never has been released, which is hilarious. It's going to be released, but I wanted to do a video like that for each one, and it really was just money. I was like, I can't. So that's what's been interesting, right? How do you, okay, let's cut the budget back like 5 times. How can we make something happen? And like with the Garbage Island thing, I just lucked out that I ran into an art director from a friend who works on Cardi B's videos and Justin Bieber's videos, and for some reason he's like, hey, I'll build a Garbage Island in my pool for you. I was like, why? He's like, I like the song, it's funny and it's catchy. And he's just the nicest guy. So that was huge, because without that production of that, because Pleasure Dome, there's other people, and there's there's a lot of other content going on. So with the Garbage Island, I had to really reach into the old weird creative recesses of my mind.
Well, additionally, you had decided that you weren't going to actually try to hire a bunch of actors and other things, and maybe you didn't have to hire Dusty. Maybe you didn't have to hire Dusty.
I think Dusty did that for free.
He may have done it beer and
He's the
pizza
man.
or something. He is a good dude. But you decided that you weren't, because that the shooting process and somebody editing and things like that costs money. Now,
Yeah, and I didn't edit that. That was
Right.
and that was one of the things. I was like, I got to learn how to edit better. Like, I don't want to spend $1,200 on editing. And you know, and there is a level. I have friends that are professional editors, and I'm not that. But for the type of block style, kind of quick edit pacing, which is like what I just want, that like boom, 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 boom. So you like have to or want to watch it again. I can edit in that fashion. So.
Right. Well, especially if you're just doing simple transitions, right? And that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. I love learning editing, and that's been a passion of mine recently. But we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for supplemental content. Somebody suggested to me, James, by the way, that you should do shorts for your desserts.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
showing you making desserts and then doing like the song of like from one of the artists that we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that would be actually, it's actually a pretty good idea. So I thought we're trying to come up with supplemental content ideas so that you can't grow really as a YouTube channel unless you have a lot of some good content that's out there, as well as just doing interviews. So.
Well, Andy, I really tried to like reframe. I actually hired a YouTube consultant. It's a really awesome guy named Paul, and he's got like 350,000 subscribers for his horror animation shorts, which are really cool. Yeah, he's phenomenal. But he's like, hey man, you have to treat it like a TV show, and you have to do it every week. And I'm like, I know, I can't do that with my music videos because it's so intensive. So I've kind of like was trying that for a while. I was like, you know what? Let's just keep, when I can, do the sketch comedy, and when I can, do the music video, and then work on the acting piece and the other, maybe the one-man show, the live performance. But yeah, it's really, I mean, when you do that, you guys know, right? When you do the YouTube show, it's that you got to have a very finite, like, this is what we're doing, and we're going to do it consistently. And you'll see that slow, gradual, organic build. So you guys should be proud of what you're doing.
We're having a great time.
It's growing. It's growing little by little, and that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? We can't really look at it as like a numbers game. Just gotta have fun with what we're doing and enjoy what we have and all the guests that we have, and really actually get honored that we have the guests that we have. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a show. It'd just be us talking.
Which is cool.
Which is still cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It might get boring a little bit. It might not get a lot of viewers.
I think whatever T-shirt, whatever rock T-shirt you have on, like right now, and you've got ZZ Top on, right? So you should just be pulling out some basses and playing some Dusty Hill bass lines in honor of our brother.
No doubt. I played for the first time on YouTube about, what was that, a week ago?
Yeah, I think so.
So I played. I actually played my guitar. I've always been the armchair guitarist. I'd sit and play on my bed. And I actually played on a show, and then I've played a couple times, but nobody ever watched it. So on like Instagram, but this time actually people were there. I played a little bit of Jimmy. My sister went, I didn't know you could play like that. I'm like, yeah, I've been playing like 30 years.
I hope it's done some good.
Yeah, I hope I'm somewhat okay. But yeah, it's been fun. I've had so much fun. And you know what? It got me back into music. I really am an IT, but Nicole and me come from a very musical background. So just like, music's around you all the time. It's just been a fun, refreshing time. And, having you on the thing is just, and you are going into this acting. I can't imagine that being something, because that's kind of new. It's not so new for you because you've been doing it. Even in your videos, you can tell that you're really prime into acting. But what kind of got you into thinking, I think I'm going to go down the acting path?
My gosh, I mean, I owe everything to my wife. I know it's like the go-to answer, but it's just the truth. She went to Loyola Marymount in New York and did a lot of off-Broadway stuff. And she's been, Shakespearean festivals. So she's an actor. And then I had this guy who was kind of just my manager, but it's really kind of just a bad agent who, like, I would get the occasional audition, and she's like, dude, no one looks like you. You should get a real commercial agent. So we worked on that, and she had strategies to help me find a better agent. And then one of my COVID, I think we probably all had some COVID goals. one of mine was I need an acting reel for theatrical. So I wrote like 6 scenes that I thought were the kind of the different types of characters I would be portrayed as, like the pothead, the goofy, awkward date guy, delivery driver, like whatever, weird 70s guy. Hey, that's pretty much who I am. So I wrote the scenes and got a director involved and hired some other actors and edited it all together and built a reel. And then I submitted that and got a couple bites and then I hooked up with the Master Talent. So yeah, that's it's really a lot of my wife encouraging me. She's like, you have some skill here. And I've always loved comedy. I did improv for years too. When I first went to LA, I did a lot of long form improv. So I was like, I love comedy and sketch. I love music. And then it was very cliquey. Like the improv world was cliquey. So I was like, screw this. I'm just going to be in a rock band. But then that led to like 15 years or 10 years. So yeah, it's been a journey, man. Like I said, like the Dizzy, the GNR thing, that happened right when like my dream band, The Shrill, Tom produced that as well as my solo stuff. That broke up, and I was like, I'm done. I'm moving back home. That was like 2012. And then I randomly got the Dizzy call through Kevin, who we used to do gigs at the Cat Club together, and the other guys weren't available. So that led to these small little tours with him, which really built my confidence. And then I was in another really cool band called Black Belt Karate, and we were doing stuff for about 4 or 5 years. So it's kind of a desert rock thing. So it's just so many different little mini journeys. But the acting kind of started back in like 2012 is when I started to go out for auditions. But only the last year and a half, 2 years, I've really been like, okay, let's really try, and see what happens.
That's so cool, man. And yeah, I wish you much success in your goal and your dreams going here. I mean, you have to be passionate about it, but also I think you do have something. I mean, I think you're funny. And additionally, what's interesting is that I bet you look pretty good in a dress. Whether Adam Levine thinks that you look good in it or not.
Guys, I have to rephrase. It happened so long ago.
Actually, check out the video before the live stream. I checked out the video.
I have to say I have to. There's a caveat to the story. It didn't happen when he saw me get changed. Because I'm remembering now, he was doing a run through the song, and we were like on the outside, kind of surrounding the stage while he performed. And he messed up, and he like kicked the chord, and he turned around and he pointed at me, and he said that, which is really freaking weird, man. It makes no sense. You're like the guy. Like, so was he thinking about me when he fucked up? Like which is really flattering. Like, so does he like me? Does he like me? Which would be. I mean, I'd be flattered.
He could have been.
Or was he just like, God, that guy he's pulling out the chicks today. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. Those Maroon 5 guys. And I like Maroon 5. I like some of their records, actually.
They are not bad.
Stuff. They'll surprise you. I'll be like, nah, I don't like them. Then I'll hear a song like, oh, that's the album before the Moves Like Jagger record, the one that came out in 2007. I love that record. It's really good. It didn't do very well, but it's a really good record. It was just funny. I don't know why you pointed me out. I did something right or wrong.
The world will never know. And then if once we have Adam Levine on the show in about.
Do you remember a guy that looked like Frank Zappa who you had a thing for and got mad? Like it's like we broke up and he was like yelling at me. One day. So weird.
So sorry, what were you thinking there? And he'll be like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
we'll just have like a reunion. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, remember this guy?
Do you remember this guy where you said this weird thing?
Like, Adam, it's me. I mean, I'm back.
I used for a while there. I was like, what? I'm like, why is my band not as big as Maroon 5? And I was like, oh wait, is his grandpa?
But you have to actually wear the red dress.
Oh yes, with a dessert in hand.
Like, Adam, it's me. Do you remember me now?
Adam, do I haunt your dreams?
Okay.
Hey, we're laughing. This is good.
That's what matters. That's why my dad calls me up and he says, Andy, here's what you need, Dad. Here's what you need, Andy. You need to have more comedy in your show. And I'm like, Well, we have a comedian, video musician coming on, so that'll work. No, you need to have me more on, and I can do soupy sales, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Dad. Do you remember?
Dude,
I
that's
said, Dad, do you
hilarious.
remember that part? Do you remember that part in Good Morning Vietnam where the guy thought he was really funny? He was the DJ. He was like the commander guy. And I said, he goes, yeah. I said, yeah, that's what Soupy Sales kind of what you're saying here is that your comedy is like honk honk. I gotta honk. I gotta look at this rubber nose. Isn't it funny?
Little Gallagher, all of a sudden there's just watermelons being broken. Like, all right.
Actually, my dad is really ultra funny. He was on the show. And he brought bananas and apples that he had just sitting in his kitchen. And his video stream died like at least 10 times.
Guys, I feel terrible. I was supposed to physically bring something.
That's okay. We in spirit you brought it. We've had so many people that my sister says this, and quote, people don't read the email. It's all good.
Can I blame that on my daughter? That's terrible. I skimmed it for the bold.
That's exactly what it is. It's all good. I have done that so many times where you're like, oh, you said to actually do that. Actually, I do that like every day with my wife. So that's neither here nor there. I think you said this. There was some content in the middle that you missed. You just got like, milk and oranges. I said there was some more food
11?
like steak and potatoes in the middle.
Was that number 11?
Yes. What was this? What are we talking about?
Oh, no, I was joking around.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, number 11, right. So, this is the part in the show where we talk about the fact that he's going to play live, and we're going to see his video.
Let's go.
Guys, I'm about to throw up. I don't think I can.
I don't think he's about to throw up. He can't do it. He's gonna too much. Yeah. So we're going to watch him. We're going to be just staring at him and going,
yeah, make it awkward, guys.
We're going to tell you that you should have brought a dessert, and yet you didn't because you didn't read the email.
So can you actually speak over me singing and the song? That'd be really funny. Like every 30 seconds, like, dude, where's the dessert? What? Where's the dessert? Where's the dessert? Like a remix.
What?
I'm the video. I am mixed. Yes, I am Mixmaster Andy tonight, the video DJ of the night.
Or you just start playing ZZ Top over my stuff.
I like LaGrange better. Everybody's about LaGrange.
Dude, just got paid, man. That is probably in my. I always think like, what would be my? Here's some content. Like, what are your top 10? No one can do top 10 songs, but if you could only have like 10 songs, like just got paid by ZZ Top. I don't know if it makes that list, but every time I hear it, I'm like, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I you know what? I like that. Sharp Dressed Man, another good one. Anything from the Eliminator, that was actually.
Oh, so you're in 80s. This is like the whole 80s Joel, 70s Joel, 80s Elton John, 70s John. This is woo. We might not have time for me to play it if we get into this.
And then, so I do like LaGrange because, well, that they originally were very bluesy, and that's what if you hear their story, they came from Texas and they were really into a lot of the blues, and they played a lot of actual blues festivals back in the day, and their early stuff was really bluesy. I mean, LaGrange is definitely super bluesy, and even LaGrange is a blues lick the entire time. It's just with some distortion. Which is, Jimi Hendrix.
Jesus Just Left Chicago. I mean, they've got tons of blues stuff.
I said one of mine. One of my favorites is probably the Tube Snake Boogie.
Oh, dude, phenomenal. Yeah. Cheap Sunglasses.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones.
They have a great band.
Well, speaking of ZZ Top, hopefully we're going to see him in November.
You didn't have to shake it, but you did, and I thank you guys.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Who can get away with that? If I said that, it'd be weird.
Locked away. Put away. We'd all be locked away. There's a lot of things. ZZ Top is such an amazing. There's an epitome of like good rock, and they're in that category. I think is, they were innovative and they did different things that, like, I love AC/DC, don't get me wrong, but a lot of their songs, I mean, you can even go Bon Scott or Brian Johnson, but there's different sounds to them. But you could say that for the most part, they're playing the same 3 chords, 4, 5 chords throughout the entire history with a nice solo in it, right?
Meat and potatoes, rock and roll.
Yeah, it's still really great stuff, but ZZ Top had a lot of the bluesy stuff when that stuff wasn't popular. Bluesy rock was not something. I mean, there was Southern rock during that time frame, which really didn't fit into ZZ Top's thing.
No, they're Texas and they're over the border stuff. I mean, it's definitely that Southwest thing.
Yep,
yeah, and then they obviously, it's funny, all those 70s bands, they either made an 80s transition or they didn't, and you didn't hear any more from them. Or if they did, they were somewhere highly criticized. I mean, all of them, like, you look like Chicago 70s and Chicago 80s. It's like not even the same thing.
And you know why? It's because that producer. So there's that producer that made everybody. There's a producer that made. Yes. He made Chicago happen. Like, he knew the 70s Chicago, and then there was the 80s Chicago, and the 80s Chicago, and they got rid of their original lead singer, and then they brought on whoever.
Cetera became, for a while there, they had 3 lead singers. Like on some of the 70s stuff, they all, a lot of those bands would do that. There'd be different guys taking different leads.
Well, it was disco. So yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
and
I
then
like Harry Muffs.
Harry Muffs Disco. So we're at that time where we're almost running out of time. So
oh god,
running out of time. We've passed it by. So here's what we're gonna do really quick. We're gonna play 2 songs. We're gonna video DJ, and he's gonna play live. We're going to have a great time, and you guys will enjoy his music. He's talented. He's a talented musician. He sings.
No.
He does play a mean bass. He does play a mean bass, and he's funny. It's like a triple. It's a trifecta right here. It's a trifecta.
Now, since we're doing this on your end, I'm adding the 2 videos right now.
I see.
And I thought Pleasure Dome would be good first, and then since Garbage Island is not released, the song is on Spotify, but the video is going to be released. Well, Nicole and I were talking about that today. It'll be released this calendar year.
Which one is? I just got to remember which one is the one that is the dark. Is that the?
That should be Pleasure Dome. Yep.
That's what I think. Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready to rock?
Ready.
Okay, we're ready to rock.
Ready to rock.
Let's get the man
rock and roll
up here.
It's not really rock and roll at all. Some rock elements. Can you see my hands, guys? The Harry Muffs Disco is actually in the way. Oh, there it is.
There he is. There he is. And now we're going to throw him in.
Does that sound good? Sound good.
I can't hear you, actually.
Oh, you can't hear the bass?
No, I can't hear it at all.
Ooh, I really hope we can figure this out real quick here.
Either that or he's going to lip sync the entire
that would stink.
That would stink. We don't want to do that. So we're not hearing
the other day. Okay.
It was perfect the other day.
It was perfect the other day. I actually tried StreamYard on my own. I practiced today. So I can hear it in my headphones, which means it's going through the interface, and the interface is going into the computer.
Maybe something.
And the computer audio output says standard. So I don't know what to do.
This is the fun parts about live streams.
Nicole asked me, she's like, "You got it all figured out, right?"
This is live music 101 right here. This is what happens right when you're ready to play. Something else happens. It
actually did happen at my wedding. No joke. Like right as the band played, we lost power.
Oh no.
So real quick, so I know time is of the essence here. So Amy, what do you think, like, any suggestions? Because I don't know why.
So we could, there's 2 options here. If we can't get your bass to play, we could just play the video, and then we could talk about the video afterwards.
Okay.
The second thing is that, and we could do both of them, while we're playing one video, you can see if you have plugged in everything on your end. It sounds like you're playing through your monitor.
Yeah. Can I leave real quick, guys, and come back in and
you bet.
Great. Let me do that real fast.
Yeah, cool. So this is live music, and here I am. But we'll have to put James in now too. I really did lose 15 pounds, guys. I really did. There's our man, James, who is going to change his background here in a bit. And I just saw that my background failed miserably. My background update failed miserably. Sticky, tacky stuff that I put on made the flag actually fall down. So there's that. But it looked really cool for about 10 minutes. Yeah.
So hopefully by next week, these things should be gone and out of the way.
And then he's going to have a whole... He could be at the ocean. You never know where he's going to be. He might be at the
underwater.
Ocean. He might be.
I could be in Japan. I mean, I can be somewhere.
That's right. He could be a cake. He could be part of the cake. He could be a dessert.
I'll take a picture of your background, Andy, and I can be in your closet.
Yeah, hey.
I'll just have to take a picture of your background.
I'm in your closet.
And I'll just put it right here. And
we're both in the closet.
We'll just have matching closets.
Yeah, get out of the closet.
Like, hey, that's my closet.
Get out of my closet. Okay, let's see if the bass. Oh, there we go. Yes.
There we go.
Let's do this before it has another break.
Yes, let's do this. Let's do this, bad boy. Let's do this.
Put the muffs on.
Put the muffs. You gotta love bass. You just gotta love bass. Oh,
Eat the rich.
That's right. Gotta love it.
Oh, do I start? Oh, I forgot to put the.
I was waiting on you. Yeah, I was waiting on videos.
Here we go. I'll just put Pleasure Dome in. All right, there we go. Let's just start with the.
We'll figure it out.
We're gonna get this to work. We're gonna.
That's marvelous.
Are you guys ready to go?
I think so. Let's try it. We're up all night, Pleasure Dome. And it's all night, Pleasure Dome. We're up all night, Pleasure Dome. And it's all night, Pleasure Dome. Got sign to stone it. Now doom low with all and those down back and the long prayer. I'm a menagerie of sex and money. Someone call the doctor for me. No, now building the alright, Pleasure Dome. That's alright, Pleasure Dome. That's alright, Pleasure Dome. That's alright, Pleasure Dome. I just want a tone for a roll I wrote. Do it, blow it, that's alright. And a long prayer. Now solving crimes with guns in Hawaii. For beautiful ladies, Nordic ladies, consoling the savage with alright, Pleasure Dome. That's alright, Pleasure Dome. We're alright, Pleasure Dome. That's alright, Pleasure Dome. I'm trapped in an unrelenting cycle of pleasure, and feel that this dome may go on forever. 4 in the morning, I got dropped from Sony. But who cares about music anymore? We're all night, pleasure dome, and that's all night, pleasure dome. We're all night, pleasure dome, and that's all night, pleasure dome. Pleasure dome, and that's all night, pleasure dome. We're all night, pleasure dome, and that's all night, pleasure dome. We're all night.
That was fun. Let's get him back on there.
All right.
That was really cool. We'll have to do the next one too. This is...
I was like, oh, I closed my computer and put it back up, and I was like, oh wait, no, I can't see my fingers on the bass. Hold on, I'll hit a whole note.
That does remind me though. I just saw we just saw Hall & Oates not long ago, so
That's great. Oh my god, they've been to the bowl a bunch of times. I'm like, why am I not going?
That was
really old.
It's so fun. Yeah. How's Daryl's voice holding up?
Actually, here, Emma. How was Daryl's voice? Would you say? How was Daryl's voice? How would you describe Daryl's voice?
Not the same.
No, it's not. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Anymore.
No, it's not the same. I didn't hear her opinion on that too. So
there was a live performance, and it's like I saw they were doing I can't remember the song, but it seemed like John was doing the high part. But if you go back and watch back in the day, it's Daryl. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was stoked on that. We were watching it, so when we were doing like the high notes, kind of singing along with it, you're like, yeah, like what you know from the videos or listening to the music or whatever. You're like, yeah, this is totally different. Yeah, you said yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hard,
That
man.
was the same
You
as
got to
that
take
she
care
said.
of that thing. Who knows? Smoking. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse. I'm not going to point fingers, but you got to really. And Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah.
That guy sounds effing great.
That's awesome.
Right.
You did. Okay, so last one is your newest one. So let's.
Yes, unreleased. This is interesting, guys. We're actually releasing it right now because this will be on your website. So there'll be royalties and contractual things. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the stand-up. It didn't work out.
We'll figure
It
out.
definitely will. And you know what's so interesting is that YouTube will figure it out, and then it will say,
God.
hey, by the way, you're not getting paid for that video. And I'll be like, ha, 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 I get paid for no videos.
Dude, the best part is when I'm sure other musicians that you've had on have said this. You put out your own video and you get flagged for your own music video. They're like, yeah, it's hilarious.
I own this. This is mine.
It's me. You see the picture?
Yeah, that's me. That's me right there. Okay, so we need the other video, sir.
Oh my God. See, this is why I need guidance. Oh, here we go. There it is.
There it is. Are you ready to go?
Ready, Captain.
Deciding now to stop being a liar. Deciding to escape social line order. Desire to fall in love with floating plastic nature. Your college forgotten by my infatuation. Now all I got is dollars, living out my dreams. Now all I got is dollars. Please don't rescue me. I'm alive. All I got is dollars. Trash beneath my feet. Now all I got is dollars. Yeah. I'm the answer to your sanitation problem. Lounging in a chair of the sunny water. Floating on the box of magenta printed toilet. The mayor, the king of prestigious government. Now I'm gonna try living out my dreams. Now I'm gonna try. Please don't rescue me. I'm alive. I'm gonna be dying. Trash beneath my feet. Now I'm gonna be dying. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everybody loves a Caribbean island party. Don't worry, you're safe. There's plenty of flotation devices. I love what we've done here.
Who needs Carnival Cruises anyway?
I'm gonna keep drinking bottled water.
No laws, my permanent vacation. No traffic, no stalking, my music reputation. My mission, revolution to global conservation. No ex-wife, no cell phone, just total isolation. Now I'm gonna try to live out my dreams. Now I'm gonna try to. Please don't rescue me. I'm alive. I'm gonna try to. Trash beneath my feet. Now I'm gonna try to. Yeah, yeah.
That was awesome. That worked out really good.
Peek.
There we go. It is the grand
That was
sneak
awesome.
peek. Not even a premiere.
awesome.
We're a sneak peek. That is awesome. It's really good.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of random stuff pops in my head, guys. I just try to put it all into one song.
I know. That was so good. And you know what? This is so cool is that I think that you put so much more like little pieces in it that were like from different clips and movies. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And they got a little calypso in it. You had a calypso.
Yeah. That was, it's funny. I co-wrote this one with Tom and it was, he's like, we gotta have a crazy bridge and you're like on some island. I'm like, okay. I was like back in 2014 and now and I wanted to do the video. I wanted to get like an actual island and like take a barge out and like, you know, it was some grand like $15,000-$20,000 project. And I was like, I'm not gonna film this in the ocean. So let's do a pool.
And some guy's like, hey, you can do this in my pool. And you're like, yeah,
he was awesome,
perfect.
man. He was cool. He's a star of that thing because his production value is just phenomenal. I collected recyclables for 3 months. And my wife is a saint because there was literally just recyclables everywhere. And I was like boxing it up and taking it out to the garage. But it was like there's like 5 boxes full of aluminum cans. And there's a bunch of like, I don't know, it was madness. And I'm like making props and trying to make little plastic floaters out of Amazon plastic bubbly crap. Like, don't have money for a props master on this one. I guess I'll do it.
So your wife is just like, well, you got a lot of props. It's just trash in our house.
She just looks at me and goes, I do, just to reaffirm the vows.
That's right. Only wives would see that dream and say, I can see something in this with you. That's a good thing.
There's something of value.
That's awesome. Well, everybody who is and probably will be seeing this later, we're actually going to probably rip this out. We'll probably see this on some TikTok for sure. Awesome. If it's okay with our man. We always try to, that's my new thing, is try to put promotion, but then additionally do some TikTok videos so that we can like cut it up and get more people to come in. And
I love
hopefully
it.
they will. We're gonna have one day, you know, we'll look back and we'll be like, remember we're gonna have you on again, Harry. And this next time
yeah.
you're gonna bring a dessert.
Ooh,
And
I will.
You'll know. You'll be like, hey, here's the apple pie, and then here's this pumpkin pie for both of the times that
I think I was
Hopefully,
confused. Like, do I
with
need to
Adam.
put this in the mail for them to eat? I was confused,
yeah.
which would be really gross. James would be offended because he's a food connoisseur.
Well, what we're expecting next time, since you have forgot the dessert, we're expecting moves like Jagger to come alive, and you to strut your stuff the next time with the dress. With the dress.
We will try to get Adam on here as well, so you guys can reunite and hash
We
it
could
out.
do the video again instead of Christina Aguilera doing the bridge. It'd be me, and everything else stays the same.
That's right. Just yours, Christina Aguilera. That's right.
Yeah, and Adam and I can work out our issues. Adam and I can work out our issues.
That's right. What did you mean? What did you mean, Adam, when you said this? It's
It's
destroyed
been
me for
bothering
life.
me for
We're
quite
just
some
gonna we'll just hash it out right here.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Let's have talk. We'll eat over desserts here.
guys. I want to say
you like apple pie.
thank you a bazillion for having me. Like it's always you know, I know you're like, oh, you guys are just, you know, everybody and their stars. Like honestly, like getting an opportunity to talk about art and creativity and meet other creative people. It's really, you know, there's weeks that go by when that does not happen, if not longer. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
thank
joining.
you,
I
Harry.
mean, I know when I first saw the name of the name, I was already intrigued already. I mean, how can no one not be intrigued by Harry Muffs Disco?
Did you do this? You were like,
I was like, huh, that's gonna be interesting.
What I love is now that I
even the
know
promo
that
for it. Like, hey, check
I
out Harry
know.
Muffs Disco.
we have, this is what's so awesome is that these guys are really all, you know, a lot of the guys that have been on our show are all friends, like Dusty Bo, who is still a big fan of ours, or we're a fan of his for verse. Hopefully he's a fan of ours too. But but we've been so blessed to have so many great people on, and I'm so glad that you know that this is the real Hollywood to me, is people really being passionate about doing music and art and being able to show it at a personal level, and in a YouTube where my backdrop drops off, and you know, we're doing the best we can. But this is what we love, is the fact that this is an opportunity to really show the person behind it, and we really appreciate that time, Harry.
Awesome, man. Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys. A million, and good job on this project, and keep it going. It sounds like it's onward and upward.
That is where it is going.
Yeah,
and
man,
next
we're getting
week we have a guest. We're not sure who it is either yet, because Nicole is on vacation, and she's in Jamaica, Mon. She's probably
Dude, we had a meeting today, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to be in Jamaica for a while." I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah, so I told her this. I said you need to find somebody before you leave, because otherwise they're stuck with me playing guitar again. So that may happen next week. You never know. So viewers, you might have to hear some more Jimi Hendrix or Jimmy Page. I don't know, whoever I want to play. But we'll see. Either that or it'll be trip.
Scrounge somebody up.
You might have to. We might have to. You might.
I should throw Nicole some names.
Yes. Well, I was like, at one point, you're going to run out of friends. You're going to run out of friends eventually. And we're going to be like, hey, we're going to have them repeat. That's what's going to happen. They're coming back on.
Has Jason been on? Has Jason Mazilis, as Achilles Mazilis been on?
We have not had him on. I don't.
Oh man! All right.
We've had some really good acts. We've
sure
had a lot of her just strictly like her clients that are strictly just clients, and then we've had some of her friends, which has been really cool.
Oh, that's great.
I'm
She's
sure you know
awesome.
Eric. I'm sure you know Eric, and I've met Eric, and
Yes.
yeah, everybody knows Eric. And so Eric Klein, and then some of those other guys. So there's that group of you guys that all came from somewhere else, then ended up flocking to Hollywood around the same time, I think.
Yeah, kind of mid-aughts.
Yep. So yeah, it's been fun. And you know what? It's been fun because I get to get more into my sister's pretty cool. She has cool friends.
Oh, she's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, she is. Well, this is the cool thing is
cool
that
gal.
she's a pretty cool gal, but what's interesting is that she's just my little sister. So I'm always like, I started playing some Smashing Pumpkins this week, and I was like, I blame her for getting me into Smashing Pumpkins because I was a hard rock 80s. Yeah, me too. I absolutely love them. I actually got a big muff pie. Speaking of muffs, I have it sitting right here.
Wait, guys. You know how like bass on a lot of rock, you can't always tell what's going on. So what Smashing Pumpkin song is this? Isn't that like the first song off of Siamese Dream?
I think
Or is it? Anyway,
Anyway, sorry.
More
I love
airtime.
bass.
I
Do
love.
you know what's really cool about bass is that people don't realize how important the bass is.
Thank you.
I mean, people see Flea, but people don't realize that bass really drives rhythm. Plus, if you did not have bass, you would not have a good band because it fills the room with a darker, deeper sound, especially when my son plays bass, and you would not have the same. You'd have treble all over the place, but you would not have enough of the other levels to help fill the room, and you have to have bass. It's just a necessity.
I don't know. Trying to do some Chili Peppers for him.
There you go. Flea. He's a
how long has your son been playing?
He's been playing 4 years,
and he's doing the upright. So is he doing the orchestra in school?
He's doing orchestra. Yeah,
awesome. That's so
good. We went to his concert 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was, and I told him this. I'm dad, and I said, "You need to practice, my son. You need to practice. More practice.
Practice is great. If you can make practice, like once that practice goes to like passion, then you'll be like, come on, man, you got to do some homework." It'll be like nonstop. Mine was Cream. Cream. Yeah. Cream got me. That's the band that like I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Oh,
and awesome. I just didn't stop. Didn't stop playing.
See, that's the way it is, and that's what guitar was. So what got me into guitar was hard rock from the 80s and me wanting to be like all the cool glam rock guys. And then when I heard Slash for the first time, I was like, that's what I'm going to start playing. I want to play guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Saul is my idol, as they say. Usually everybody says Slash, but his name is Saul. So Saul is my idol.
Hey, I know Saul's dad too, Tony.
Do you know Tony? Yeah.
I do know because he lived across from Jason.
Oh,
I just
cool.
mentioned. Yeah. And so Tony used to come out to a lot of our shows, the Black Belt Karate shows. He came out to probably 4 or 5 of those shows, which was awesome. Super nice guy. And, designed a lot of iconic 70s album covers. He's an artist, but he did some of the Joni Mitchell stuff. And yeah, he's so
really
talented.
Cool. Yeah, very true. And then his mom was like a costume designer or something.
Yeah. Very, very artistic family.
Yeah. As you can tell from Saul himself, who's extremely gifted. So
he is
somewhat. That's what they say. They say he's very extremely gifted.
We'll see if it pans out for him.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting to see. I feel like he's on the verge.
He's on the verge.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
He's going to be a breakout star of 2023. I think.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard that he's going to play a new. As long as he gets with a new band. Yeah, he has. He's just got to get a new band, a new what do we call those super groups now?
Maybe he should go more mellow. Like if he did kind of like an America or Bread type band, or like maybe like a rock set thing, make it poppier. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. He could go do that. Yeah, true.
Could work.
He could work.
Then
okay. Okay, everybody, we're out of time. I'm sure that my better half is like, hey, you told me this was just an hour, buddy.
Yeah,
And,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and he's got the little one. So how old is the little one, really quick?
So she's 13 and a half months. And yeah, today, this is what I'll end on. This is how amazing she is. Our daycare fell through today. So, and she's working, and I'm doing this and a bunch of other stuff. So, wow, what a day it was. But it worked out.
Kids are a blessing, my friend. Kids are a blessing.
So much.
Do you know what their best of the blessing is? Is when they leave. We're out of here. We will talk to you guys later next Thursday. Thank you again, Harry. We had a great time.
Thank you so much, guys. Andy James, we'll be in touch. You take care.
You bet.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
And that